All right, Tay, I'll throw it to you before I kind of give some thoughts. You were at practice the full time on Saturday. I was also there on Saturday, so let's see if see if some of the things that we saw actually line up.
First thing I want to highlight is the secondary because they were awful last year in fall practice. Like you could kind of see it coming. You could kind of see it coming a little bit last year. Like we had talked about their flaws coming into the year last year, and that was the big concern. I think the secondary looks really good. Like there's guys battling for spots. Like Stamps and Delane have kind of been the top two for the most part, but like Jakeem Jackson got in there and made plays. DJ Pickett looks the part already.
Yeah, he does,
The safety rotation, which I love that Hossey and Cooley both got the start.
Cooley's a little bit bigger than I thought he was off tape.
Hossey?
No, Cooley.
Oh, Cooley? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying he's a giant. Like he's probably 208, 210. On tape, he looked like he was like 195.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Like I kind of went up and he made a play and I'm like, is Zero Cooley? And I forget which staff member I was talking like, I was like, okay, I did not have him playing that role and playing that size. So he flashed to me as well.
Yeah, he's big. If this offensive line can be average, Caden Durham has a chance to be all SEC. I think he looks phenomenal out there. I mean, also what you notice is 7-on-7, 11-on-11, Caden Durham's getting the ball very often. Yeah. Like I think 11-on-11 each period we saw, he got the ball first play. And then first two plays in 7-on-7, they threw it to him out of the backfield. Like they love going to Caden Durham. And then people are going to be surprised how versatile Bauer Sharp is.
Yeah.
Like people talk about Trey'Dez Green. Oh, he's going to move inside. He's going to move outside. I saw Bauer Sharp lined up at tight end with his hand in the dirt. I saw him line up as slot receiver, and I saw him line up at running back with Caden Durham. They were on either side of Garrett Nussmeier. That guy's going to play a lot of football as well.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with the strength staff, and they said probably the biggest surprise in a positive way of all the new people, be it high school or be it people that came in through the portal, Bauer Sharp certainly is that guy. Didn't quite know all the things that he could do. And so we actually kind of line up because the defensive backs was something that I was like, okay, this is better. This looks much better than it did a year ago. I mean, since you already went for they were terrible last year, I feel like I can kind of pile on. The transfers look the part. They look like veteran players. Now, Pickett is somebody – I don't know if it's right out of the gates. I don't know if it's in Clemson, South Carolina. But at some point, he has the look of somebody that's going to be hard to take off the field as a true freshman. I don't know when that happens. I don't know how he evolves as a player and if it's later in the season. But he was in there against the ones. I mean, multiple times. Now, he wasn't running with the ones, specifically every single time out. But he was rotating in against the one offense, and so that's somebody that looks like so far he is living up to all the billing we had out of high school. But my biggest takeaway of the entire practice that I saw from inside run to 11-on-11 to whatever drill it was is Caden Durham is going to be an all-SEC running back.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's first team. I don't know if it's second team.
If the only reason average,
the only reason it's going to be second team is because he might not get the rushes that somebody else gets. Because even last year, we're talking about somebody that had 750 yards on the ground, averaged 5.5 yards per carry, and remember he had a foot-toe injury, basically the final 8 games, and he was never fully healthy. I cannot tell you how many times after a game. We'd be getting on the team plane, and the coaches would be like, man, that run that Caden had, if he was healthy, he hits his head on the goalpost. Like, he would have finished that in the end zone, right? I forget, which game it was, but he had a couple where he broke out, and, look, they were like 60-yard runs, but he'd get caught before he got to the end zone. And you're like, he is just gritting his way through this foot injury. And so being a true freshman, knowing you have elite speed, and you are fully healthy, that should get LSU fans excited. And not only the 750 yards on the ground, but he also added 27 catches. That's a pretty big number. That probably puts him, I think firmly it would put him in top 10 catches by a running back in a season. Like it's kind of that category. Like it's right there probably on the verge of that. And that's got to be something that continues to go up as well. Now, it's training camp, so we didn't see a ton, and it was, day 3 or 4, we didn't see a ton of, blitzes and him having to pick up guys off the edge or pick up a safety coming on the backside of a blitz. That's where he had to go up, in my opinion. That's where you're going to miss Josh Williams, because Josh Williams was Mr. Fixer, right? He was the guy that would come, and whatever the problem was, he would fix it. Now, the ceiling might not be where Caden's was, but you knew Josh was going to be really good in pass protection as well. That's got to go up, because LSU's going to throw the football, and they're going to throw the football a lot. And you can't, in today's college football, really any level of football, you can't have a running back that's only a 2-down back. He's got to be a 3-down back, certainly with the way he can catch the football. And so I want to see that. And if he has that, if he's gone up a couple steps in that, then I'm already standing fully behind my all-SEC. Like, he'll be a first-team guy if he has 36 catches, is really good in pass protection, and doesn't have to come off the field. He's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher if healthy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's going to happen.
Like, I'm good with him having 20 carries a game, Caleb Jackson coming in, spelling him for maybe 8, Harlem Berry maybe, 6 or 7. Like, I want Caden Durham to do the bulk of the work. Last thing I noticed, anytime a player like Aaron Anderson misses practice, it should stand out. It didn't. And that's not a knock on Aaron Anderson. It's because the rest of the receiver room's really good. Like, I had heard a couple people, because like the first couple days of practice, we weren't able to go because it was like 9 a.m. Saturday was my first time out there. Yeah. And I had heard so many people say, oh, Destin Hill. And I'm like, okay, every year, just like in the NFL, there's a guy that people fall in love with. Destin Hill looks like he's going to actually play and play a lot of football. Nick Anderson looks like he's almost fully healthy. Like, Chris Hilton's out there catching balls. Like, I love Aaron Anderson. Kyle Parker looks awesome.
in the run game. And I know that's not something that people want to hear a lot about, a receiver in the run game. They're asking their receivers to do more on the edge. I don't know if you noticed that. And again, it's one practice. They got some runs up where they're asking their receivers to do their part. And Kyle Parker was a dog out there on the edge. Now, again, you've got 10 receivers that feel like they could go out there and find time. And I don't know how that's going to work itself out. But that feels like something that they're looking for, is receivers that can also do their part on the edges.
Well, Kelly's opening press conference that I had to go to on Wednesday, unsolicited, mentioned Kyle Parker by name when asked about the receivers. Like, anytime a coach does that when not being specifically asked about a player, that's something I take note of.
I'll say this too. I had an offensive coach do the same thing after practice.
Well, he was really good the first 3 or 4 games of the year. Remember, he caught the deep ball against UCLA and was kind of hurt the rest of the year. He looks good, but Jawan Johnson is a guy that, like, he got carries in the backfield, a ton of them on Saturday. Like, I left Saturday practice being like, okay, if the season started today, Jawan Johnson's your number 2 running back. And, when the 2s were out there in 7-on-7, he rotated in with Michael Van Buren at quarterback. Now, he didn't have the red jersey on, but he lined up out wide. He lined up at quarterback.
There's a plan for him.
He lined up at running back. Like, he's going to play.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I'm going to be honest, like, backup running back is a little bit of a worry for me, because you have 2 true freshmen. Now, I can't sit up here and act like I don't always say it, because I do. Like, if you can transition from high school to college fast, it's going to be at running back. But still, that might take 4-5 games. Like, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like, think about all the stud running back. Like, Leonard Fournette's freshman year was a grown man, but it took him like 3 or 4 games. Because you've always been able to get the football and hit a home run. Like, your head's on the goalpost. You got to learn how to read it a little bit, right? It's faster. You got to take a 7-yard run and not always look for the 70-yard run. And Leonard did that incredibly fast. But are these backs? Like, JT Lindsey's long, man. His frame is going to be able to add a ton more to it. Maybe not this year, but certainly next year. And those young guys are going to play. Like, Caleb Jackson's got to be effective for this team. He just has to be. There's no question about it. Like, as much as I think Caden Durham can be Superman, he's going to need a breather. There's going to be a time in a big game where he hits a long run and he taps the top of his helmet asking to come out. And when Caleb Jackson rolls out there, they have to get production. He is one of the most important players, I think, on this football team. Certainly non-starters, because of what they have to have him do. Not what they would like for him to do. They have to have him be successful when he's out there.
Yeah, I mean, at least because, like, you don't have that short yardage back. And I understand Josh Williams wasn't built like a short yardage back, but he was damn good at
Well,
it.
it was by the time he came back.
He was
from
by,
pro day.
by his sixth year, yeah, but he was really good at it. Like Caden Durham could maybe be that guy, but look, we talked about Juwan Johnson. He's not really a short yardage guy. He's more of a finesse guy. Kind of the same thing with Harlem Berry and JT Lindsey. There's going to be a role for Caleb Jackson, at least in short yardage and at least early in the year.
Going to have to be.
Because you talked about it, like it might be easy to adjust at a running back as freshmen, but they physically look like freshmen right now. Like they're a little on the lighter side. I think they need to gain a little bit. So Caleb's going to have to play early.
That's what I was saying with JT. You can tell, like, so he just got here, I believe, in the summer. He wasn't an early enrollee. You can tell, like, you can look at him and say, oh, that guy can add 15 pounds to his frame with ease and not lose anything. But he's not going to do it right now. Like, that's going to take some time. Like, Caleb Jackson is going to be as important as any non-starter on this team, offense or defense, because he's going to have to give you something. Like, there has to be something there. It doesn't matter what year you look at for LSU, like the most historic seasons that LSU's ever had. They've had a bell cow, but they've also had players underneath that bell cow that helped them win national championships. I mean, you can look at it in 03, like there's 5 backs. In 07, there's 5 backs. In 11, when they got there and didn't win it, but that was a damn good football team, there was 5 backs. Clyde's kind of the outlier. Now, because Clyde's kind of in the similar situation that Barry finds himself in, or sorry, Durham finds himself in, because Barry, it's kind of like Emory, and you had TDP, who was a young player as well. But for the most part, and still, those guys made plays that year in 19. You're going to have somebody step up, and it's got to be Caleb Jackson, because you've got 2 true freshmen behind him. So certainly going to be somebody we continue to watch, and he's going to have to continue to develop, he looks the part, and we know he's got a skill set, but he's got to put all that together to help LSU move the football.